Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov gang. Tonight, Brandeis University's surrender to the Muslim Brotherhood. Our very special guest, Dr. David Wood. He is the host of the Trinity Channel's live talk show, Jesus or Muhammad. He has been in more than 40 public debates with Muslims, and he is undefeated. And he runs the website answeringmuslims.com. Dr. Wood, welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going, Jamie?
Is it true that you're 40-0?
According to some, yeah. Not according to Muslims.
Okay. I might switch back from David and Dr. Wood throughout the show, okay?
Sure.
Very, very depressing. Just the surrender of the West on so many realms, David. And Ayan Hirsi Ali, a hero that was oppressed by Islam, who left Islam and was put her life on the line for standing up for women's rights and for human rights. And Brandeis University is bullied by the Muslim Brotherhood, by its front group's CARE, Muslim Students Association, and it withdraws the honorary degree that it was going to give her. What do you make of this? This is just shameless.
Yeah, I mean, Ayan Hirsi Ali is a hero, and I'm saying this. I would disagree with her on lots of things, but when I read her book Infidel years ago, and I mean, this is a woman who laid everything on the line, and that's a daily thing for her, right? She has to be willing to lay her life down. I mean, think about how many ways she is under an Islamic death penalty. She's an apostate. She criticizes Islam. She's in all kinds of trouble. And, she is dedicating her life to helping women who are going through the same things that she had to go through when she was growing up. She was a victim of female genital mutilation. She was a victim of one of these forced marriages. And so these are things that she had to deal with, and she's trying to help other women not have to go through the same things. And she's a racist and a bigot and a hate monger for it.
But David, what's very interesting is that Brandeis University was on the path of honoring her in this way, of giving her that honorary degree. So I don't think they were too worried about this inconsistency that somehow now exists somewhere between the university and Ayan Hirsi Ali. It's only after the Muslim Brotherhood gets involved with its intimidation tactics. So, I'm kind of wondering, after CARE and MSA, when they bully the university, all of a sudden now, the university comes out with this statement that there's a contradiction, that there's an inconsistency with the university's core values. So I'm starting to wonder now, is defending our society against jihad something that Brandeis has a problem with? What could be inconsistent with a heroic woman that's fighting for women's rights, human rights, and democracy?
Yeah, if I had an opportunity to talk to Brandeis, I would just start quoting passages of the Quran, say, look, yay or nay. Are you against this or are you for it? If you're against it, you're against Islam, because this is what Islam teaches. So Surah 9, verse 29 of the Quran says, commands Muslims to fight those who do not believe in Allah. It's not a command to fight in self-defense. It's a command to fight people based on their beliefs. Yay or nay, Brandeis University. Is that good or is that bad? Surah 98, verse 6 calls Christians and Jews the worst of creatures. Yay or nay? Are we the worst of creatures? Surah 4, verse 34 says that Muslim men can beat their wives into submission. So in all these things, if you ask someone, is this good or is this bad, they would immediately say bad. Well, guess what? When you say that, you're condemning Islam. And what people like Ayan Hirsi Ali are condemned for is for saying, hey, this problem that you recognize in the world is actually part of what Islam teaches. That's what she's condemned for. As long as you say, hey, I'm against this problem in the world, but it has nothing to do with Islam, then you're fine. As soon as you start quoting chapter and verse of the Quran to show where these things are coming from, then you're an Islamophobe and you have to be shut down.
And so, David, this doesn't need to be said, but I just want to stress for our viewers and for the record that when you said that you disagree with Ayan Hirsi Ali on some things, it's definitely not about the fact that Islam is a problem, because you and Ayan Hirsi Ali are both on the same page in terms of that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What I meant there is groups like CARE with their, opposition to the film The Honor Diaries, are saying, well, we disagree with the makers on certain things, and therefore we disagree with the film. And what I'm saying is, I don't know anyone I don't disagree with on lots of things, right? I disagree with my wife on all kinds of things. I disagree with you on all kinds of things. I disagree with Ayaan Hirsi Ali on all kinds of things. But one of the things we should agree on is that female genital mutilation and forced marriages and child marriages and honor killings, these things are things that everyone should be rallying around to stop, and yet CARE is trying to silence a film that's bringing these things to light. It's horrifying.
So, David, what is happening in terms of CARE and these Muslim Brotherhood front groups and how Brandeis has just surrendered? What is the significance here? What is the meaning of this surrender?
Well, Brandeis should be embarrassed for getting involved to begin with. If you're going to recognize someone like Ayaan Hirsi Ali, you have to be willing to endure the criticism. There's no way they researched her enough to know what she's done, and not researched her enough to realize that she's a controversial figure. So, if you weren't planning on, carrying this through to the end, you shouldn't have got involved. You should have kept your mouth closed. But what you have is just this pattern of, hey, we recognize that there's a problem. We're going to help draw attention to the problem. Oh, wait, we're being criticized, and we can't endure that. It's just it's absolute cowardice. You're not willing to recognize someone for standing against honor killings because it's going to get you some negative feedback for your university. Is there nothing you're willing to stand up for? It's a sad commentary on how weak we've become here in this country.
And it's incredible that these groups like CARE, and we can talk about who they are and who they're affiliated with, that they're actually on the platform suffocating the fight to protect women, Muslim women, non-Muslim women, etc. So let me get to this is a great transition now to the Honor Diaries, and everyone should go to the honordiaries.com. Honor Diaries is a new film putting attention on the problem of honor killings and the oppression of women under Islam and how much they suffer. And CARE has trying to stop that film from being shown and has succeeded in stopping that film from being shown in several realms. And this was all debated on Megyn Kelly's The Kelly File. And tell us what happened on that show, and that'll be our transition to your wonderful video, David.
Well, I'm actually, it's kind of surprising to see who comes out as the fearless ones. And Megyn Kelly is one of the people who are coming out as the fearless one. Most people, especially in the media and in politics, are just cowering, can't stand the thought of being called a bigot. And that allows groups like CARE to control them. If they know what will keep your mouth closed, they can control you, they can control what you report. Well, eventually end up with someone like Megyn Kelly, who, if you start messing with her, she actually starts pushing back a little. And she's done that for several programs now, exposing what CARE has been doing. And it's cool. She invites them on her show, The Kelly File, to come on and try to defend themselves, and it's just really not working out for CARE.
And it's very inspiring because we see surrender on so many realms. And Megyn Kelly smacked CARE down not once but twice. And thank you very much, Megyn Kelly. So after that smackdown of CARE on the two shows and how Megyn Kelly was standing up for this film and exposing the hypocrisy of CARE for opposing it and trying to stop it, you've made a video, a parody of CARE's anger in terms of being smacked down on the show. And the name of your video on YouTube is CARE Reacts to Megyn Kelly's Epic Smackdown. Mm-hmm. CARE Reacts to Megyn Kelly's Epic Smackdown. It's a parody using Hitler to show CARE's anger at being smacked down. Let's show us a little clip of David's video.
Das war ein Befehl! Der Angriff Steiners war ein Befehl! Wer schickt Sie? Dass Sie es wagen, sich meinen Befehl zu widersetzen! So weit ist es also gekommen. Das Militär hat mich belogen. Jeder hat mich belogen, sogar die SS. Die gesamte Generalität ist nichts weiter als ein Haufen niederträchtiger, treuloser Feiglinge.
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Nicht als Feiglinge, Verräter, Versager.
Mein Führer, was Sie da sagen, ist ungeheuerlich.
Die Generalität ist das Geschmolz des deutschen Volkes. Sie ist ohne Ehre. Sie nennen sich Generale, weil sie Jahre auf Militärakademien zugebracht haben, nur um zu lernen, wie man Messer und Gabel hält. Jahrelang hat das Militär meine Aktionen nur behindert. Es hat mich jeden nur ersichtlichen Widerstand in den Weg gelegt. Ich hätte gut daran getan, von Jahren alle höheren Offiziere liquidieren zu lassen, wie Stalin. Ich war nie auf einer Akademie. Und doch habe ich allein auf mich gestellt, ganz Europa erobert. Verräter! Von allem Anfang an bin ich so verraten und betrogen worden. Es wurde ein ungeheurer Verrat geübt am deutschen Volke. Aber alle diese Verräter werden bezahlen. Mit ihrem eigenen Blut werden sie bezahlen. Sie werden es saufen in ihrem eigenen Blut.
Bitte gerne. Jetzt beruhig dich doch.
Wow, that is some pretty brilliant, powerful stuff, David. Thank you for making it. Lots of powerful themes in there, a powerful message. Tell us why you made the video and some of the things that you argue, obviously your arguments there.
Well, I don't know how people who work at the higher levels of care can sleep at night or can look their kids in the faces. I mean, you know, Dad, what'd you do at work today? Well, I condemned a bunch of people who stand against honor killings. That's what I did. And, you know, it's sort of a lower level form of behavioral control. If you can get people to associate bad feelings with some behavior, that behavior will start to dwindle. And so if you can get people to feel bad about criticizing Sharia or criticizing female genital mutilation just by calling them racist and bigots, it's no fun, right? It's no, you know this. You know it's no fun being called a racist and a bigot and a hate monger by all kinds of people. It gives you a bad feeling, and so it's a way to control people's behavior. But I mean, it's absolutely pathetic. Anyone who speaks out in defense of women, anyone who condemns terrorism is labeled a hate monger and a bigot and a racist and is accused of having this imaginary mental illness called Islamophobia. And so basically I wanted to show CARE what this is like. Look, you guys, you just call people the most hateful things you can anytime they say something you don't like. How would you like it? How would you like it if I compared you to Nazis because I disagree with you? Is this a reasonable form of discourse? And I don't think it is. I think it's silly. I think comparing someone to Hitler, unless they actually are like Hitler, is a pretty low blow. But at the same time, we have to be consistent here. CARE, if this is how you want to proceed, if you don't want to actually examine arguments and evidence and defend passages of the Quran that we think lead to these things, that lead to terrorism, that lead to violence against women, if you don't want to explain those passages and show how we've all gotten this wrong, you're just going to call us names, well, we can do that too. And is this how the dialogue is going to go? So I put that out there as is this the route you really want to go, CARE? Is this just going to end up a bunch of name calling back and forth? Because I think I can do that, and I think I can do it better than they do.
And thank you so much for your courage for making that video and all the truths that you have being spoken in there by Hitler. What reaction has there been to that video? What are some of the feedback that you've received?
Oh, it's been overwhelmingly positive. People have watched it and they're recognizing that CARE is absolutely despicable. I mean, it was one thing for CARE to be calling people racist and Islamophobes over, accusing Islam of promoting violence, but now, when all you're doing is stopping people from criticizing some of the most horrific practices imaginable. I mean, if we made a list of, the 10 worst things that happen in the world, it would be things like 6- and 7-year-old girls being married off. It would be things like that. It would be things like honor killings. And here is a video where, the video is phenomenal. I mean, it's some Muslim activists, it's non-Muslim activists. There's a Sikh there. There's a Christian woman there, and they all come together. And there's a scene towards the end of the film where they all join hands, and say, hey, whatever else happens, we're going to continue our fight for women. And this is just a beautiful thing showing, hey, let's lay our differences aside and do something positive in the world and really make a difference. And CARE's reaction is a bunch of hate mongers and bigots. You need to be shut down. Horrifying stuff.
And just shameful and shameless the silence of the leftist feminists in the women's studies departments across the campuses of the United States. I mean, the left is just shameless in this regard. How it's betraying the millions of Muslim women and Muslim girls that are being oppressed by Sharia. So it's Honor Diaries, a new film. Go to honordiaries.com and support this film, watch this film, spread it far and wide. David, thank you so much for all the bravery and the nobility that you're bringing to this battle. You're a leading freedom fighter on the front line. We got a couple minutes left. Just quickly, tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to this battle.
Well, I had studied Islam before I became a Christian, before I ever studied Christianity, and later I studied Christianity. I became a Christian, and it was in college that my best friend was a Muslim. So we were actually sort of famous on campus for being the Christian and Muslim who were best friends. Well, I went off to graduate.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure.
Before you became a Christian, you were?
I was an atheist.
Okay.
So eventually I went off to graduate school in philosophy. My friend Nabil, he went off to medical school, and after his first year of medical school, he became a Christian. And I saw the backlash, and he comes from the most peaceful sect of Islam, bar none. And so his family had a more peaceful reaction than many others would. But still, there was just this obsession and constant arguing and sending him around the world to scholars who were going to convert him back to Islam. But I think it was about a month before he got his first death threat for leaving Islam. And so, the only reason I was really studying Islam at that point was because my best friend was trying to convert me to Islam. And after, he was no longer a Muslim, I think, well, now I'm done, right? That's the reason I was studying Islam. But then, the death threats start coming in, and I think there's something different about this. There's something different about this ideology, the way the people are acting. And so I've never actually gotten away from it. It's with me, it's more, hey, there are things I'm more interested in the world. I'd rather be dealing with other things, but this is, we're at a point in history where, hey, that other stuff can wait. There is a very, very big problem in the world, and we have to address it.
Thank you, David. I know that the answer to this question should take hours, but I'm going to ask under 15 seconds. Why did you become a Christian?
I was persecuting a Christian, and he made me mad enough to start examining the resurrection, and I concluded in the process that Jesus rose from the dead. And I realized if I'm going to listen to anyone tell me about God, I'm going to listen to the guy who rose from the dead. And when you listen to Jesus, well, you become a Christian.
Amen. And we're on the same page in terms of Jesus Christ, my friend. David Wood, thank you for joining the Glazov gang this evening. And am I correct that me and you are also standing together on this realm, that if Brandeis University has closed its door to Ayan Hirsi Ali, you and I and the whole world right now should say, we are all Hirsi Ali.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're on the same page with her, and we're on the same page with each other.
David, thank you for everything that you do, and we hope you'll be back on the gang soon.
All right, anytime, brother.
Thank you. And thank you for watching the Glazov gang this time, and we'll see you next week. Good night.